All right, so the other one that we have in this slide is called, basically what we do is it's a two-in-one valve again. Basically what we did is we were dealing with a customer who had been having problems. He said, you know, Daryl, he said, typically what we find is either we need to worry about our bypass or our suction pressure, but there's nothing out there that I can do both with. And a lot of times they'll actually have to put multiple valves in there if they want to control both. So what we do is we don't want to go down on high discharge or low suction pressure. So he came back to me and he said, Daryl, you know, you've been talking about that you can set up your valve to do multi-function things. Is there a way that you can set your valve up to do this? And of course, I went back to the drawing board and I said, yeah, I probably could come up with something there. And again, it didn't take me long to realize that if I put two of these little controllers in series, basically in parallel with each other, what they do is under normal conditions, this compressor is running just fine. Both these limits aren't achieved. So again, they're just locked up, and that valve is like it's not even there. And it's not until all of a sudden we get too high in our discharge or too low in our suction pressure that this valve will sense that and of course open. So basically what I realized that if I put two valves in parallel, basically what I can do is I can have one monitoring the suction, I can have the other one monitoring the bypass. So basically, if neither limits are achieved, the valve will just remain in a locked state. So basically what we did is the PR valve, it's sensing the suction pressure. So let's say hypothetically you have your low suction set at 5 pounds. So what would happen is that as long as this was above 5 pounds, this valve would be locked up. Now, and again, this is just constantly monitoring that pressure. So all of a sudden this compressor, let's say the field starts to drop down too low, all of a sudden we don't have enough pressure, and now you risk that compressor going down to low suction. And of course you don't want that to happen. So what we do is if we set this valve up at 5 pounds, now as soon as we hit that 5 pounds, this senses it opens up and just allows this to recycle back around, back to suction so that you never go down on your low suction. The other is a back pressure valve, and of course, let's say you have your discharge set at, hypothetically again, 130 pounds. So if all of a sudden we're getting close to that 130 pound set pressure, what this will do is it'll sense it. As soon as it hits 130 pounds, it opens up, again allows that pressure to come off the bladder, and this will just sit there and basically recycle around. So just to recap, now with this one valve, this one Sur Flo valve, you can essentially have it set up as a suction and a discharge valve all in one, and it eliminates the need to have two valves.